Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Z from Customs by Z. I'm going to do a super fast video outlining some of the new features and additions I did to my custom masterpiece Grimlock. I'm going to make this real quick. First of all, first thing you'll notice, hopefully this focuses well, the head is a custom 3D modeled version of the IDW or Machine Wars Grimlock. It has the teeth feature on it. A little more squared off. All of the upgrades and features you see on this figure were actually done via a commission. I had a client commission me to do several 3D modeled upgrades for this piece, of which he allowed me to do, at this moment, one set for a custom figure. So basically I did 2 Grimlocks at a time. Finished his about a week or so ago, shipped it off to him already, and this is the one I will be putting up for auction. So basically what you see here with this Grimlock head is everything has been 3D designed and printed. It's got 3 pieces. It's got the front and the back and then the light piping eyepiece. This is all printed from Shapeways. It's all frosted ultra detail. The back and the front were dyed black and then painted black, and the light piping piece was dyed a red. So with this, what I did is I wired him pretty extensively, which is not easy in this figure. There's not a lot of room, but with that I was able to wire him to give him red eyes. It's really nice how well the Shapeways frosted ultra detail transmits the light through the light piping. His head can turn side to side. I would not turn it more than I just did. It can look up, it can look down, but there is wiring going straight up through the neck into the head, and being frosted ultra detail, it is a little fragile, so I would be careful with it, but you know, it can be posed in multiple positions. So let me just turn that light off. The switch is located, I don't know how well we can see this, but you'll see right here underneath the gold chest piece there's a little red switch. It's kind of being blocked. Let's see if I can see it from the side. Yeah, you can kind of see it there, and there's a little white switch. Slide that and the eyes turn on. Slide it and they turn off. The battery is literally right up underneath here, so when you transform him, when you pull that chest plate out, you'll see the battery there for easy replacement when needed. Okay, second thing I'm going to show off. Bear with me while I lower the camera a little bit. Let's see if I can do this slow, not to make anybody dizzy. Is completely redesigned forearms. Much bigger than the standard Grimlock. Let's see if I can bring him in here for show. It's going to be hard with their back wings. But you can kind of see the difference is it's about a ½ an inch taller or so, maybe a little bit less than that, and it's wider at the bottom. Again, this was per the exact specifications of my client. He wanted Grimlock to have a much more beefy, almost Popeye look with the heavy forearms, and I think it definitely achieved that. I think it actually came out great, and it gives Grimlock such a different look. One of my biggest gripes with the Masterpiece figures, it was a little lanky looking for someone like Grimlock. And with that, you'll see fully articulated hands. Each finger has a joint in it. 2 joints actually, a joint at the base of the hand and then a joint at the knuckle. All 4 fingers are jointed. The thumb is jointed, and then there's a ball joint in the socket for the thumb. On the back of the hand is the Autobot Dinobot logo that you saw on the Fall of Cybertron Grimlock's chest. Again, this was requested by the commissioner. And in the hand, there is a 5mm port. I'm sliding off to the side, sorry. That will fit his weapons and any real 5mm weapons. These hands will not hold the old Grimlock weapons. The posts on those weapons are a little too short lengthwise, but you'll see why that doesn't matter in a second. Also, fully transformable. This will fit right up inside that cavity, which works really well. And again, it gives him such more of a hulking presence. He almost, like you said, he's almost got those Popeye forearms. Um, Next thing I'll show is the Dino Head and some of the electronics I put in there. Give me 1 second. Alright, so we've got Grimlock in the standard robot position. I'm going to raise this camera again, so bear with me. Okay. And let's just turn him around. I'm not going to transform him fully for this. But what you'll see is all of the gears that were there to make the head rotate and the tail move and all that stuff have been taken out. I cut a piece away here to make this whole new battery section and switch fit. You can kind of see the wires going down into the neck and up into the head. What you see here, that's the battery compartment. So what I'll do right now is I'll just slide a battery in there. Hopefully this isn't a dead battery. Let's see if it works. Okay. The reason I take this battery out is for some reason, and I don't yet know what it is, it may be a somewhat faulty switch, is the blue eyes stay very dimly lit. You can kind of see that there. They're very dimly lit when the battery's in. So, I mean, if you're going to store this on your shelf and not play with it, just remove the battery. And when you want to show the light up feature, you can put the battery in. So again, with this switch right here, it is a 3-position switch. What that means is, some of you noticed that I took a poll on my Facebook page asking, do you like the blue, do you like the red? It was pretty much a 50-50 split, so I went a little above and beyond, and what I did for the Dino Head was I decided to put both light up features in here. So when you activate the switch in the first position, you'll get the blue lights. Okay, when you activate the switch to the second position, you get the red lights. And with the red light, I also put an LED in his mouth. Cannon, fire thrower, flamethrower, whatever you want to call that thing. So again, all the way to the right, turns it off. Once to the left, lights up the blue eyes. Second to the left, lights up both the red eyes and the cannon in the mouth. So that's the feature for the Dino Head. And all that is mounted, like I said, right here. The switch and the battery. Very easily replaceable and easy access. You can kind of see there are the wires sticking out of his neck into his chin. That was the only place I could find to fit the wires. The feature in the mouth where you push the side and the jaw pops open is no longer there. Neither is the head. This is fused shut. Do not try to open his head and rotate the eyes. You will damage the electronics. I pretty much fused that as best I could, so you can't open the top. There really is no need to now because he's got the electronics. So that is Grimlock himself. Okay, next what I'm going to bring is, let's move Grimlock to the back, is the weapons. So let's start off with the gun. As you know, that's his standard cannon. Pretty cool looking. It's got the feature when you stick the gun into Grimlock's hand and press the electronics on his shoulder, it lights up the tips. That feature is no longer present in Grimlock. There is no button to push. There is no light up feature in the hand. And the reason for that is, if I bring in his new gun, decidedly bigger. I mean, it is massive. It is heavy. This, again, is a full 3D print from Shapeways. This was printed in white, strong, flexible, polished. It was dyed black and then painted black, and then the accents painted. And you will see the screws here, because what this does is, when you unscrew it, it splits in half. And inside there's a battery. The switch is hidden. The switch is hidden actually right in here under the magazine clip. And you can kind of see in the end there are 2 LEDs. So when you activate the switch, it's a micro switch. You get the 2 light up features of the cannon. And for those that continuously post on my Facebook page, or on 4chan, or on TFW, wherever, that I photoshopped the eye glow and the laser cannon glow into my pictures, this is proof that I do not. There's a way I take my pictures to optimize the cannon glow, and I use the most high intensity LEDs that you can possibly get. Alright, so that's the cannon. Now I'll get off my soapbox. Okay. Next is the sword, and this is the one that really disturbed my client, and I've always hated too. it's a nice enough design. It's just puny, and especially now having these new massive hands and massive forearms, holding something like this. I mean, it's like he had a toothpick in his hand. So what the client asked me to do was design this. Okay, so what you see is it's about 2.5 inches longer, considerably thicker. This is a full 3D print. This was done by Stagwolf Garage Kits. He has his own 3D printer. I tried getting this done through Shapeways, but the blade alone from Shapeways would have cost almost $100 in Frosted Ultra Detail. And I think Stagwolf's print is 100 times better than what Shapeways could have done. It's really cool, and I don't know if this is just an artifact from his actual printer, but inside it's got these like little ridges. They almost look like stalactites. And when I show you the feature with this sword, you'll see why that is so cool. You'll see the hilt. It's got a 5mm peg on it, so he can hold it. Optimus can hold it. Anybody can hold it. If I flip it over, you'll see the multiple screws there, because again, you unscrew that, you pull the two sections apart, and there will be a battery housing right in there. And then there's a hidden micro switch right where my finger's pointing. And when I activate that, the sword lights up. Now, it doesn't look that great in this light, but in a more dim environment, this whole blade lights up. I've since redesigned the blade a bit to give it more piping, so to speak. But again, that's why you don't need the hand feature in the Grimlock anyway. And you can kind of see those artifacts kind of showing up throughout the blade. This blade is very fragile. It's not something you're going to be throwing around, not something you want to drop, because if you drop it, you will break it. I don't offer replacements on this. This was a very, very difficult thing to construct and wire up. So you break it, you bought it. So what I'll do is let me throw these in Grimlock's hands, and you can see what they look like. You can kind of see it in the pictures as well. That will slide into the 5mm port. Grimlock will hold that sword. It just looks so much better in these new, bigger hands. Same thing with the rifle. Now the rifle, you've got to position his fingers in a fist already, as tight as the fist as you can, before you go to put the rifle in, because the fingers will sit against the magazine clip. And if you don't put them as tight as you can without breaking them, it will prevent the gun from fitting in his hand. But, so there you have Grimlock, and let me focus that. And I'll come down a little bit. There you have my Transformers Masterpiece 08 Grimlock Custom with multiple 3D printed Shapeways upgrades. Again, both forearms, both sets of hands, the head, the gun, and the sword. This guy will be up for auction either on the 17th or 18th of January. So take a look out for him. If you have any questions, feel free to message me or shoot me a message on Facebook. Thanks.